Hey everyone, welcome to our first lecture for e-learning. So the goal of today is to understand how the United States responded to the attack on Pearl Harbor, which content-wise is where we left off before we had this crazy stuff begin. So today's lecture is on mobilizing for the defense. And the main idea, as you guys see, is how the United States mobilized for war following the attack on Pearl Harbor. You'll be exploring more of this in the home front stations, which will be the additional assignment today. So, to understand how the United States responded in World War II is to understand the concept of total war. And total war is what the United States, or how the United States responded to the attack on Pearl Harbor. Total war is essentially all of the population of a country putting their efforts into the war effort. So it's not only military, it's also civilians. It's people that typically aren't in jobs that you would think are for a war effort. And so total war included preparation and organization for active service, and then finally expanded the draft for selective service in order to ensure that the United States had soldiers to fight in the Pacific theater of the war. Additionally, in total war, the government is able to expand control over factories and manufacturing. Interestingly enough, you guys have probably heard about this actually right now in the news about the president enacting basically a wartime strategy which converts factories that would produce products that maybe aren't used for a war to making wartime products. So for right now, you see companies such as the company that makes MLB t-shirts, right? They've converted their factory into making PPE for doctors and nurses on the forefront fighting the coronavirus outbreak at the moment. New Balance is also doing this, right? So this is actually an act that is being used today, 2020, but was also being used when the United States was attacked and entered the Pacific theater of war. So the government was able to order factories to produce war materials. A lot of plants reconverted to making wartime necessities such as tanks, boats, command cars. And then additionally, it had citizens ration goods that they would need or not need, or that the soldiers would need more. Furthermore, the public supported this war effort by buying war bonds. We've talked about bonds before, and these bonds were used to fund the war, and they were used as an emotional appeal and a monetary appeal for the public to help. Now, you might notice that we've had a lot of propaganda images in the slides thus far. Propaganda was used to really get people going in order to do something that the government wanted. So you might even see right now, if you're ever scrolling through social media, like the CDC has a lot of sponsored posts. It's kind of similar, right? I wouldn't call it propaganda, they're more PSAs, but they're trying to get you to understand the gravity of the situation and to do something about it. Now, in the time of World War II, similar to what we saw in World War I, a lot of women were able to re-enter the workforce and replace men who were now joining the war. And one of the kind of major things is that both American and British women are serving major roles in World War II. Now, this was happening in previous wars, but this is where we see a mass amount of women that are able to join the war effort, not just at home, but also abroad, such as what we heard about the Angels of Bataan. Now, I mentioned propaganda. Propaganda was being used throughout all countries involved in World War II, both the Axis and the Allies powers, because governments wanted to use propaganda to influence public opinion. So democratic governments that were part of the Allies were using it, As were the Axis powers. And what you'll see is this kind of extension of propaganda usage, like we've been seeing time and time again. There was appeal to emotion, right? To that ethos and pathos, and to the logos, right? The rhetorical strategies that we talked about. There was demonization of the enemy. But what you really see in World War II propaganda is the use of racist messages in order to support the war effort. For example, the ones in these slides in front of you. So I want you guys to go ahead and watch the video that I will play for you here. I'll also link it to our playlist in case you want to see it other ways. But in the comments in this lecture video, I want you guys to answer 3 questions. In what way does this cartoon encourage Americans to participate in the war effort? How do you think this encouraged Americans to mobilize for war? And what is the cartoon's main message? All right, I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna walk away so you're not distracted by me, and then you'll see me kind of zoom back in. All right, there we go.
Our fighting men must have your help. They need more tanks, more planes, more guns, more shells. Never was the need more urgent. Invest in war-saving certificates today.
Oh, that?
Yes, you. What would you be worth if the United Nations lost this war? Nothing. We must win. Enlist in our army of regular war savers today.
Great stuff! I'm gonna do it. Tomorrow. Yeah! Tomorrow!
Not tomorrow, Donald. Today.
Do it! I'm tired.
No! Donald? Your bank. Come along, Donald.
Wait a minute. Don't let that sap tell you how to spend your money. Be smart. Spend it on yourself.
Okay, I will.
Wait. In times like these, everyone must do his share.
That's right.
Don't listen to him. Go ahead, spend it. Have a good time.
First, you must defend the country that makes a good time possible.
Curses, he's too smart. I'll have to blitz him. Hey, look, your petticoat's showing.
That's the last straw. You first, Donald.
All right, team. So be sure to answer those questions in the comments in this lecture video. Also, let us know if you have any questions. Remember, after this, you're completing an activity on the home front. All right, everyone. Good luck. I'll see you.